Hello, everyone, and welcome to San Antonio Monthly Magazine TV, right here with Dr. Adriana Rocha Garcia. How are you today, doctor?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
All right, so who is Dr. Rocha Garcia?
Adriana Rocha Garcia is the daughter of Mexican born parents. I am a single mom to my 25-year-old son, and I'm also the current city council member for District 4 in San Antonio, which covers the south and southwest parts of San Antonio.
Well, I have known Dr. Rocha Garcia for a long, long time, and every time I see you, you are doing something amazing for the community. Why did you decide to run for mayor of San Antonio, Texas?
I think it's important that someone who's running for mayor understands the community, is from the community, and understands the needs of the community. We are fortunate to live in one of the most welcoming, one of those compassionate cities in San Antonio. But unfortunately, our poverty level is still very low. We need to provide educational access so that kids have opportunities like the ones that I was able to receive. And I'll give an example. I mentioned earlier that word community. It's so important to me. It's going to take me an entire lifetime to pay back my community what they have done for me. That's exactly what I'm trying to do in my current role as a council member. But more importantly, I can elevate that as mayor of San Antonio. Economic empowerment through opportunities is going to be critical, but we also have to look at the whole picture. How can we work together as community to make sure that there's more kids out there that have opportunities to succeed?
What makes you unique and different along everybody else?
There's 27 candidates out there, but the mayor, according to our city charter, is the 11th seat on council. The mayor does not have a bigger vote. The mayor does not have an extra vote. The mayor has one vote. And as the leader in essence of the city, that mayor still gets to work together and collaborate with the others to make sure that the residents that each one of those 10 council members represents is at the table, is vested in the best things for the community. And I've gotten to do a lot of that work already through my work on city council. I did not just start leading. I've been leading the last few years. The last 6 years have been critical. One of the things that I first had to deal with in my role as councilwoman was when the novel coronavirus landed at Lackland Air Force Base. That was in my district. People worried, people were panicked. We got vaccines to the southwest and east sides immediately. Whether you wanted the vaccine or not, you had access to it. Then came the closure of Texas Vista. That was an important hospital that had been in our area for 40 years. We immediately rallied. I convinced my council colleagues to support an effort that is called a Community Health Equity in South Texas, and we got $600,000 to start a seed funding for that program. And then we also had a very sad tragedy in District 4, and that was the 53 migrants that passed away because they essentially suffocated in the back of an 18-wheeler. I was heartbroken when that happened, but it was the opportunity to show the world that San Antonio is a compassionate city. That's why I feel that I'm best positioned to run for mayor and to lead the city of San Antonio.
Well, I've known you for years, and I got to tell the whole entire world, Dr. Rocha Garcia happens to be one of the biggest supporters for education because, as you know, what we do at Techport San Antonio with our beautiful museum, Samsat San Antonio, we touch everyone in our community, and we are also outside the box. But I also see you in everything, Dr. Rocha. I believe you got the best support that you could have to put you where you're at. But I also understand the importance that it is to you continuing to make the education stronger. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I am fortunate because I have a PhD. The reason that I have the PhD is because of support of the community. I go back to it, and in the 90s, Mayor Henry Cisneros created the San Antonio Education Partnership. A lot of you all voted for it. Thank you so much. That helped me get a scholarship. Even the fun things that we do in San Antonio, it's all about education and advancing our youth. Ray Fail gave me a scholarship as well. So we know Fiesta's coming up. By the way, make sure that you vote before you Fiesta because the elections are during Fiesta. But if you had a chicken on a stick or something back then, you were part of the reason that I got a scholarship as well. And so it's going to take me, like I said, so much to pay back what you all have done for me by investing in programs like that. One of the programs like Pre-K for Essay that Mayor Julian Castro did, that's going to be a critical component as well as we explore how to better engage the extended education community.
I mean, you literally, have had the opportunity to work with some of the best past mayors here in the city, which I know all of them. And I have got to say, we have been very pleased with all of them because every single one have done something special for our community right here in San Antonio, Texas. And I could speak myself because I have been established here in San Antonio for going a little over 40 years. But Dr. Rocha, when I started my very first little business here in San Antonio, I started door-to-door knocking at Lackland Air Force Base. So I go back many, many years. And of course, now I've seen what we have done at TechPort San Antonio and through the whole entire city of San Antonio. And I literally have touched many hearts, but nothing like you. You have touched many hearts in a different way because you have really been in the mix politically on all the steps through the past mayors to be able to contribute a little bit of your love with everyone. And I see that. And that's why I've invited Dr. Rocha Garcia to come here and give me a few words for 3 reasons. Number one, because she's a beautiful woman. She's a single mom. She's Latina. She understands the need of what us as women need. But not only that, she has been able to steal every gentleman's heart in a very special way. Why? Because she's a very respectable woman. She's a woman of her word. She's a woman of loyalty, honesty. And one thing that I always see you do, Dr. Rocha, is you give joy to the entire world. It doesn't matter who they are. I always see you greeting. I always see you smiling away. No matter how sometimes life could be difficult, how tough it is. And you mentioned some, moments with the pandemic, with everything that we've done. We've been together because we have been there during the pandemic. Nobody was ready for that. You, along our mayor right now, went out there and just faced the world with a big smile in your face, making sure that everybody knew that we were going to be okay and that we were going to have that comfort of support. And I got to admit, right now, our mayor has done an amazing job for the past 8 years. He really has had the opportunity to put San Antonio out there to the world. I mean, I known him for a long time, and I believe he's done an amazing job. What do you think?
I think he's done an incredible job as well. And that's why I think that we need to continue that experience and support a candidate that will continue to elevate San Antonio to the world. I've been very fortunate to represent San Antonio in some of the sister city relationships. The most recent one was the city Baguio in the Philippines. And so I'm the liaison for that. But I'm also the liaison to Japan. And I also have a special liaison with the community here from Ukraine who are refugees. And because of my parents being from Mexico, I'm also the secondary liaison to Mexico and also to the Canary Islands. So when you think in terms of the international exposure that San Antonio has, we need to continue to let people know that San Antonio is ready to welcome them from anywhere they are. Last week, we had a great conversation with the Canadians here in San Antonio that just said how welcoming this city is. They fell in love with our city. That's exactly what we have to do. We have to promote the beautiful ties of friendship that should continue across the generations.
And the second reason why I invited Dr. Rocha Garcia to be here is because of what she just said. You know, she is not only about the community, but she's also about the world and just the personality that she has. You know, she has been able to engage with all cultures from all over the world that are coming right here in the city of San Antonio that are doing two things. One, contemplating about moving to San Antonio. Two, contemplating about moving their companies and their businesses right here in the heart of San Antonio. And I know all of this because I know of all the beautiful growth that we have done in the past years at Techport San Antonio. And I see how that entire side of Techport San Antonio has definitely moved forward with inviting big corporations that are making their home right here in San Antonio. And the third reason why I wanted to have a few words with Dr. Rocha Garcia is because I want the world to understand that her responsibility is not an easy responsibility, but it is something that she is ready to challenge because she has the experience of what has happened in the past years. But most of all, she understands where San Antonio has been, where San Antonio is at today, but most of all, you also understand where San Antonio is going and it's leading. And there's nothing more beautiful than having a beautiful Latina immigrant, beautiful young lady that started from step one and has stepped herself to the top with love, kind, respect, honesty, and most of all, with being consistency and being a great leader because not only that she's a great leader, but she's a wonderful mom. So let's talk a little bit about the mommy side of you.
Yeah, I love my son, and so he's incredible. He's 25 years old, so he has graduated from college. He works for a nonprofit that works with seniors. He's really good with seniors and kids, but he's really good with seniors because he helps me with my parents. My parents are 87 and 85 years old, and he visits them every day. He makes sure my dad has his insulin. He sets up his medicines for 2 weeks ahead of time. My dad has Alzheimer's, so he's very helpful there. And he just does anything that they need. He'll call me. He'll say, hey, my grandpa's about to run out of this medicine. Please order it. And he's just an incredible young man.
That's like just your son is the replica of who you are because you've done an amazing job raising him. And I always say, if you ever want to know somebody, especially a beautiful woman, look at their children. And I could tell you who they are because you know what, Dr. Rocha, I have two beautiful boys myself, 30 and 31 now. And you know, when people ask me because they don't see me out there much posting or whatever with my kids because you know we have a beautiful relationship, I always tell them, you know how my kids are doing, just look at who they are because they are the reflection of my mirror. And there's no better gift out there to the world than to have our children engage with what is most important. And that's one thing that Dr. Rocha does have. It is the engagement about understanding family values. The family values is the most important thing that every household needs to understand. The engagement and keeping up of what respect, loyalty, and what is la familia. And that's one thing that Dr. Rocha has done. She has led by example of who we need to always protect, which is la familia.
Absolutely. And I will be advocating like a mother advocates for her children. I will be advocating like a daughter advocates for her parents. And that's exactly what I want to do for you as mayor. I want to take care of you. I want to know that you know that I will always be supportive of you and your needs.
Why do you feel that everyone should select you for a mayor?
I have been at the forefront of some of the most difficult cases in the last 6 years. However, I've also been helping lead some of the most growthful efforts in the city of San Antonio. One of those things, and we mentioned international exposure, for instance, we were able to bring JCB $1 billion of economic investment in about 6 months with 1,500 jobs announced. That took a team effort. I'm able to collaborate well with others and make sure that San Antonio wins. The efforts that are going on at Texas A&M San Antonio, the investment in health that we've been making for all of South Texas, those are real items that I have been able to do. And I'm also president of the San Antonio Housing Trust. During my time as president, we have created 7,000 housing units from affordable to market because we need everything in San Antonio. And I also have the great pleasure of being the president of Women in Municipal Government. And that is voted on by female mayors and councilwomen from all over the United States. I'm only the second Texan in the organization's history to hold that title. The first Texan was actually someone from San Antonio, and that was Mayor Lila Cockrell. So I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud to say that we're bringing the Women's Conference in May to San Antonio because the person who is at the head of the organization gets to take that conference to their home city. So we'll be coming to San Antonio at the end of May.
That is absolutely wonderful. All right. So the second question that I want to ask you, Dr. Rocha, is what do you most enjoy about everything that you have already accomplished for our beautiful community of San Antonio?
I think it's being able to know that at the end of the day, I've helped people. I try to go to bed and think about how many people were we able to help as a city? How many people was my team able to reach today? And how many people was I able to directly impact today? And that's what helps me at the end of the day reevaluate and think about what needs to happen next and how I could continue to serve.
Beautiful. And what message could you share to the world? Because this interview is not just here locally, this interview is worldwide. What message could you give to everyone watching this interview upon San Antonio moving forward right here where we're at with everything we have been facing, where we have been, where we're at, and where we're going? What message do you have for those that do not know you?
San Antonio is on the verge of emerging as what I would consider a world leader. And we can lead by example with the compassion that really leads us as a community. We need a compassionate leader, but that also is effective at getting the job done, at bringing businesses to San Antonio, at bringing healthcare, which is much needed for our entire community to continue to be prosperous, and most importantly, at the educational opportunities that we talked about earlier. Right now, we have a majority council who are educators. By the way, we have a majority council who are females as well, but we've never had a Latina mayor in San Antonio, and we need to make that change. We need to make sure that a Latina that will take care of her people, of her community, is in the mayor's seat. Alcaldesa is the term in Spanish. We want to make sure that someone like you is representing you at City Hall, and I'm the person to do it.
You are absolutely beautiful. All right, Dr. Rocha. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask Lorena Monroe a question. What would you like to know about Lorena Monroe?
What is your favorite part about living in San Antonio?
San Antonio has given me everything I ever have and has made every dream a reality. Like I said earlier, Dr. Rocha, I've been here for 40 years. And I've started my first business at Lackland Air Force Base. So I am very grateful to everyone that is in the military. I am very grateful to everyone that has always supported us women. And today I am more excited and passionate about what my husband and I are doing with SAMSAT San Antonio, which is, just supporting and leaving a beautiful legacy of education on science and technology. And I just want to extend a very special thank you to you for always believing in my beautiful husband, David Monroe, and I want to thank everyone that's also believing in what his mission is. But every time I see you out there cheering him up, I mean, that just brings joy to his heart and myself too. That's why I wanted everyone to get to know Dr. Adriana Rocha Garcia, because she's just not a common woman. She is a woman that has made a difference, is making a difference, and will continue to make a difference no matter what she does. But yes, we are looking for a vote. Yes, I believe that it's time that we have a beautiful Latina as mayor of San Antonio. Thank you so much, Dr. Rocha Garcia, for being right here, giving us a few words. And thank you, San Antonio Monthly Magazine TV, for always allowing Lorena Monroe right here to let us know what is happening in the community of San Antonio, Texas. And we look forward for your vote, and happy fiesta.
Viva Fiesta.
Hasta la vista.